Hey there, boys and girls. It's Dicebag, and I'm here to talk about domain again. Specifically, this video is about the domains of domain. You know, the thing that the game is built around. So in this video, I'll discuss the 5 core domains of the game, called the domains of civilization. Beyond these 5, I expect to add more domains later on, but they'll function a bit differently, and they won't have a constant presence like these will. Now, without further ado, here are the domains of civilization. The blue domain is characterized by an insatiable thirst for knowledge. A blue society glorifies explorers, researchers, inventors, and historians above other professions. Their citizens are almost always well educated regardless of class or status. When used responsibly, blue principles are constrained by ethical codes. Their advancements in both magic and technology are used to benefit society as a whole, while diplomacy and negotiation is the rule in dealing with foreign powers. The nefarious side of blue manifests itself among those who adhere to no morals or ethics in the pursuit of knowledge. Such people think nothing of performing torturous experiments on other mortals, or even inflicting mass atrocities in the name of progress. Blue spellcasters employ divination when they need to gather information, and they use illusions to hide their own secrets. They can also pry into others' minds with psychic magic, and their thorough understanding of spellcraft makes them very good at countering and neutralizing magic in general. To affect the physical world, they utilize lightning, wind, and water as their elements of choice. Artifice is also a common practice in blue societies. Elves often build their civilizations on blue principles due to their love of magic and an inherent desire to learn new things. Humans also favor this domain because of their natural curiosity and their penchant for exploration and discovery. Black civilizations are defined by their unparalleled ambition and innovation. A society with black values is full of entrepreneurs, creators, and investors who constantly compete for their dreams of wealth, power, and glory. A black society is healthiest when fair competition thrives and power is decentralized. The constant churning of innovation feeds a type of economic natural selection where the cream of the crop always rises to the top. In such communities, natural equilibriums form quickly even when the status quo is upset. When a black society goes bad, its people will use any means to obtain power and wealth. Organized crime runs rampant, and competition is quite literally cutthroat. To outside nations, war is always a threat if a black kingdom decides it wants an empire. Black magic tends to be very direct. Its casters leverage transmutation to expedite both the creation and destruction of things, and usually do so by means of the elements earth, fire, and water. Like their blue counterparts, black spellcasters also like to use divination and illusion to protect their interests from the cutthroat nature of their society. Although necromancy is frowned upon in most cultures, its practitioners are most likely to find a place in black civilizations. And this attitude also extends to dealing with otherworldly beings from the outer realms as well. Human kingdoms tend to build on this domain because they thrive on competition and pushing boundaries. Orcs also may focus on black ethics because might makes right is the attitude in a lot of orcish cultures. Red is the domain of passions and artisans. A community that values the red domain is full of artists, craftsmen, musicians, and philosophers. Beauty is the most precious currency among these people, and those who create the most beautiful works wield the most power. The virtue of red values lies in their ability to inspire benevolence among people. Well-reasoned philosophy and thought-provoking literature form a solid moral foundation that artists and musicians find ways to portray in more tactile art forms. A malevolent red society merely trades morality for depravity and beauty for sensationalism. The artists of a decaying red culture create works only to shock and offend, while their philosophers abandon reason for emotion. The magic of this domain can be both destructively flashy and hauntingly subtle. Red magicians can evoke powerful elemental displays of fire, earth, and lightning, but they can also lace a tune with arcane suggestions and inspire overwhelming emotions in a whole crowd of people. Artifice is also treated as a high art form in red societies. Orc cultures are commonly red, partly because of their penchant for chanting, singing, and storytelling to rile themselves up and pass on teachings of battle. Dwarves often invoke the red domain through their craftsmanship in metalworking and architecture, as well as their love for drinking songs. The green domain is for those who value harmony and tranquility. Monks and shamans are often held in high esteem, while farmers and builders form a strong backbone for a green community. A healthy green society rewards honest work and punishes the lazy. When everyone pitches in, a green community becomes exceedingly healthy and prosperous. Charity is one of green's highest virtues, and any who fall on hard times can expect support from their family or neighbors. A green civilization falls prey to corruption when its desire for conformity becomes rigid and unforgiving. Xenophobia runs rampant there, and anyone who disrupts the status quo is punished severely. Outsiders had best steer clear entirely. Green magic favors empowerment and protection for the most part. Its practitioners are adept at sowing enchantments, but they can also neutralize such magical effects fairly easily. Age manipulation is probably the most powerful tool at their disposal, allowing them to hasten the production of crops and other resources. They also skillfully apply the elemental magics of earth, wind, and water to defend and supply their communities. They usually have strong traditions of alchemy as well. Trell highly value the green domain, as they tend to view the individual as less important than the group. Elves also dabble in green principles because of their close-knit society and their reluctance to embrace new people they meet. White communities are those that value industry and organization. These nations are filled with people who have a strong work ethic and a healthy respect for authority. Hard work will take anyone far in a white civilization. A proper white community is an efficient, well-oiled machine where workers are treated fairly and leaders are held accountable. Laws and rules are enforced uniformly without being overburdensome in their number and complexity. White militaries are always highly trained and disciplined. White civilizations turn rotten when rulers and bureaucrats burden the people with excessive rules. Hierarchy is rigid, and work is unforgiving in these places. Oppressive caste systems are often employed, making some people second-class citizens, if not slaves. The magic of white magicians usually focuses on industry and warfare more than other domains. They power their civilizations with fire, wind, and lightning magic, allowing them to churn out artifice on an industrial scale. They thoroughly ward their territory to warn of intrusion and evoke fiery destruction and storms to batter their enemies. Dwarves mostly favor the white domain for its industrial power and principles of teamwork. It's also valued by Trell, who embrace conformity, hard work, and self-sacrifice. Human societies may also prefer this domain because, frankly, humans do a little bit of everything. That should be it for the domains of civilization. If you're interested in trying out the game, you can find a link in the description to the Game Crafter, where you can pick up Alpha Edition decks to try out. The artwork is incomplete, but the actual mechanics are fully functional and ready to be played. I've also updated them with new artwork since the last video, so we're inching closer and closer to a full release. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to get more updates on Domain and its lore.